Slovakia Chronicles, a podcast of information, news and much more of our beloved Slovakia. By Andrea Paolo Mazzucchetti. It's me! Let's start. Hello everyone! Welcome to the 21st episode of the Slovakia Chronicle podcast. Mysterious times are in front of us, with changes every couple of days. In fact, after the national-wide testing and curfew, the Pandemic Commission decided on lifting some measures that were imposed to fight the coronavirus. As a result, cinemas, theaters and churches were open on 16th of November, while some sport competitions were given a green light, although without spectators. On the other hand, restaurants, hotels and also schools remain closed for now. The conditions for borders have changed too. So, with all these changes, maybe you are a bit confused about what is or not allowed so far. Now, I will resume the measures that are still in place, just to have a bit of clarity, maybe. So, let's start. Wearing masks. People have to wear masks outdoors when in town and city centers, or in the streets. Masks are not required in forests or other natural surroundings, if you are with others that live in the same household or can maintain a 5-meter distance. Masks have to be worn inside. While at the workplace, people are not required to wear them if they are alone or the distance between them or their co-workers is at least 2 meters. Mass event. All mass events with more than 6 participants have been cancelled. An exemption is given to wedding ceremonies, christening and funerals. Top competition in football, ice hockey, volleyball, basketball and handball are exempt. Schools. Secondary schools and grade 5 to 9 or primary schools are closed. Education is taking place online. Kindergartens and grade 1 to 4 of primary school remain open. All pupils at primary school are required to wear masks during classes. Masks are not required in kindergarten. Shops. The number of people in shops and shopping centers is limited to 1 person per 15 square meters. If the shop is smaller than 50 square meters, there can be only 1 customer at once. Other hygienic measures, like maintaining distance and disinfecting hands and facilities, remain in place. Special shopping hours for seniors above the age of 65 years old in grocery stores and drug stores apply, with all people recommended to go to shopping between 9 and 11 on the weekdays. Hospitality industry. People are banned for eating and drinking inside restaurants, cafes, bars, and similar facilities. These facilities are allowed to provide takeaway or outdoor dining if they have outdoor seatings. Masks are required unless eating and drinking. Customers should be allowed to use the bathroom. Hotels remain closed. Other. Theater, cinema and churches are allowed to open at 50% of their capacity. Gyms and swimming pools are allowed to open with a limit of 1 per 15 square meters of area, but no more than 6 people at once. Wellness center, water park and saunas are closed. Borders. People coming from red country need a negative PCR test non older than 72 hours or to register at corona.gov.sk and start home isolation. An exemption applies to cross-border workers. People entering Slovakia who visited not European country, not on the list on the low-risk countries during the 14 past days, have to undergo home isolation. Home isolation ends after you receive a negative PCR test, usually taken on the 5th days after arrival. People living in the same household need to stay in isolation too. Isolation ends after the test is negative. If the person does not have a place of residence in Slovakia, isolation in a hotel or accommodation facilities is acceptable. In addition, if any person returning from abroad, including those who were in the green list countries, report any symptoms of respiratory disease, they need to contact their attending physician or 112 and discuss their next steps. So, some facilities are preparing to open. Churches already held first service on Monday morning, but not without controversy. In fact, cinemas, theater, fitness centers, swimming pools and churches were informed about the condition of the opening in very short time, so without possibilities to be effective on the design day. The Prime Minister Igor Matovic wanted the facility to organize antigen tests for their clients. But then, the Pandemic Commission gave the green light to opening cinemas and theater if they use half of their capacity. Facilities were not able to prepare so quickly. Cinemas will be able to screen films, but they don't have films to screen. Theater did not plan their program and ticket sales. Although a cinema would profit from screening just for half capacity, they are postponing their opening at least 1 week until they get together their program. Even then, they are unlikely to screen every day, like in pre-pandemic times. Last year, they screened for more than 26,000 people until November 16. This year, just for 14,000, including those who watch movies online. Regarding theaters, the Slovak National Theatre is also not planning to allow audience in this week, although the measures permit it now. The theatre usually sell tickets 1 or 2 months in advance, so it's not easy for them to organize everything so fast. The regular sales of tickets for public will be only restart in December. Coming to another important topic, after talking about entertainment, like doing sport, the limits for swimming pool and fitness centers are much stricter. They can let in 6 people at a time only, regardless of the size of the premise. It doesn't pay off to open for large facilities, since the maintenance of the pool and facilities costs up to 10,000 euros per month. It doesn't pay off to open fitness center for full-time operation. Churches were the most flexible in their reaction to the eased measures. Many of them held services on Monday morning. The bishop advised believers not to meet in front of the church because the ban on gathering or more than 6 people is still in place. Grades 5 to 9 of primary school and secondary schools remain closed. Restaurants remain closed as well. Only be able to provide delivery and takeaways. Definitely, these new measures were not accepted by everyone in Slovakia. In fact, street protests marked the Velvet Revolution anniversary. On 16 of November, there is a national holiday in Slovakia, the day of the fight for freedom and democracy. On this day, the country commemorates the student demonstration against the Nazis' occupation in 1939 and the demonstration in 1989 in Bratislava and Prague that marked the beginning of the Velvet Revolution, which stopped the communist regime. This time, it was not just a national pride celebration, but opposition politicians and extremist groups used the occasion to protest against the anti-pandemic measures and the Matovic government, with several gatherings. But there are not only people that complain about the last government's choices, how to fight this incredible and never-ending pandemic, but there are also fans, and not only in Slovakia. For example, the government of neighbor country Austria admired the Slovak approach of mass testing, and they would like to reproduce it in the following days, even if it's not confirmed. But something is for sure. The pandemic is still here, and we need to fight it as much as possible to save our lives and economy for the future period. And of course, the strategy for the government passed through one and only solution, the controversial national mass testing. In fact, the Ministry of Economy was tasked with purchasing of 16 million antigen tests necessary for future mass testing. The Prime Minister said that another round of nationwide testing should take place before Christmas. He plans to reveal more details soon. But if people don't want to attend the nationwide testing, a lockdown will be in play. For sure, we will face new development in the future. But I will be here to update you in this unfortunate period. We will make it together. Thank you for being part of the Slovakia Chronicle family and stay safe.